Welcome to the Building Web3 Podcast. I have my good friend John. He is the head of creators at DRiP. Now, real quick, before we get into everything that you got going on, tell us a little bit about how you got to be working for DRiP and what your current role is.
Yeah, awesome. Well, I've actually been a creator all my life. I've been kind of involved in the creative world since I was little. I'm a photographer myself, so I've been always like very interested in just doing arts. And I used to do a lot of things in Web2 already with like Instagram, TikTok, and the grind of being a freelancer. And then I found Web3 and fell in love with the idea of being able to find opportunities for me as an individual creator to connect with an audience, but also to build things in this space. I think I've also been always kind of like an entrepreneur as well, besides being a creative. And yeah, I actually built a community of artists and collectors on the Solana blockchain 2 or 3 years ago already. Through that, I got to connect as well with DRiP, where we also had some collaborations going on. And well, recently I actually ended up joining the DRiP team last summer. So yeah.
Now, you were out on your own. What made you actually take the leap and join the team?
Well, as I said, I kind of like already knew the team very well, even before joining them, and knew very well how DRiP worked. I really loved from the beginning what DRiP was and the opportunities that it was delivering for creators to be able to just have their own communities, their own profile, their own connections with their audience. Really fell in love with that idea, and I've been involved with the platform for over a year. So when the opportunity came up to also join the team and help DRiP to also grow from the creator perspective, that was something that for me was just a no doubt.
Amazing. We've mentioned DRiP a few times. Tell users, if they're not familiar, what is DRiP and like what's the goal?
Yeah, so DRiP is a direct monetization platform. It's a fan-based platform. It's a place where you're able to distribute, as a creator, you're able to distribute any kind of work, either if it is art or content. You're able to distribute it as a digital collectible that your fans and your followers can collect, and they can get it as well in their wallet. And you can also give exclusive rewards to your collectors based on what they get. So there's a distribution model on DRiP based on rarities, where depending on what type of digital collectible you give, either if it is a common, a rare, or legendary, which is kind of like the rarity model that exists on DRiP, you're also able to decide what kind of rewards you give to your collectors on those collectibles.
And then let's imagine, people haven't used DRiP and they're not necessarily familiar. Let's maybe walk through the process of being a creator. I'm a creator. I have the Building Web3 podcast, and let's say I want to start, distributing the episodes on chain. Walk me through the process of how a creator like myself gets started on the platform.
Yeah, definitely. So right now on DRiP, we are actually opening 6 channels per day. There is an onboarding process that we always take through with every creator. So even if you're completely new in Web3, or if you're completely new to DRiP, we always take you step by step in that onboarding process. But then when you join and you open up a channel, we always say there's infinite possibilities for you as a creator to use DRiP, as it's better suited for your work, whatever it is that you create. But let's say you're gonna start uploading episodes of your podcast on DRiP. You could, for example, give some highlights of those podcasts, or maybe shorter version of a full length podcast as common, which is the base rarity on DRiP, which is the base collectible. That is something that anyone can get access to, anyone can collect. But then when you start to get more exclusive, where you maybe want to give the full length podcast to your followers, maybe you're asking your followers to send some droplets. Droplets is the in-app currency that we use on DRiP. It's not a crypto coin. It's just an in-app currency that people can buy. with crypto or credit card. So when you are starting to get into those rarities, which is a rare or legendary, that's where you, for example, could decide if you want to drop the full length podcast, or maybe you can also give something even more special where maybe you're giving a dedicated video to somebody that sends you droplets for them to get a legendary. So there's infinite possibilities that you can decide on how you can also give back to your supporters.
And let's talk about like growing on the platform, because one of the trickiest things is when you want to leave, let's say, Twitter and go to Farcast, or you want to leave like an established channel and go to one of these more like Web3 native ones, is like, I've spent all this time building up an audience in some other platform. Talk to us a little bit about how creators can grow on something like DRiP.
Yeah, so on DRiP, the aspect of retaining followers, DRiP actually does the work for you on that aspect. So you really got to focus on just being able to bring your followers from other platforms into DRiP, or also to raise an audience from the existing user base on DRiP. Um, Definitely finding a frequency on how constant you can be dropping on DRiP, which is something that you can also totally decide for yourself depending on the bandwidth that you have. But finding a frequency of maybe doing weekly drops where people constantly see that you're setting reminders, that you're being consistent with that rhythm, and then they will be able also to find you for that, as well as doing collaborations with the community. One of the biggest aspects of DRiP is the community that we have on Twitter, that we also have on Discord, where people instantly, when they join as a creator, they get introduced to a lot of other creators, which will also get you as well to be seen by their followers if you start interacting more with them and if you start even collaborating with them. So collaboration is also a great way to grow. And then in terms of like bringing your existing followers from other platforms, as I was saying, I think that's also something we like to tell a lot to new creators. I think it's important that you as a creator, when you come to DRiP, you understand how you can bring already your existing audience, because maybe you want to bring them to your channel on DRiP so you can give them some rewards for the support that they've been already giving you on maybe platforms like Instagram or Twitter, where in these platforms you cannot really do this type of commerce, you cannot really give these kind of rewards. So really speaking a lot about just what you're doing on platforms like Twitter and Instagram, really communicating that brand and then translating it into why your brand is now as well on DRiP. Being very communicative about that vision that you're translating as well as DRiP will help you to really bring the attention into those followers that you have in other platforms and bring them to DRiP.
And then talk to us a little bit about some of the existing creators, or maybe like the successful case studies you guys have. Is there a specific vertical that you find is relatively like popular? Is it like, say, lo-fi music, or what do you find is like the content that really resonates on the platform?
Yeah, I think there's something in common between the most successful creators, and is that they do physicals. That's something that I found in common from the most successful creators, and it can be any kind of physicals. I mean, I've seen people that they build this massive universe of maybe comics, or universe of like 3D art or illustrations, and then they give physicals that can be like cards, and they send it out to people that get an ultimate, for example, which the ultimate is the most exclusive one. I've also seen photographers that there's a photographer in particular in the platform that is doing prints as well, and he's been doing very well with people being able to get those digital collectibles that then they can redeem it for prints. And so we found collectors becoming very, very active in that sense when they see a creator that is rewarding them, not only with the digital collectibles itself, but with something else that goes behind it. And also something very interesting as well that I've seen working very well is for musicians when They've been also doing collaborations between them. The music community on DRiP has been becoming one of the most engaging ones in the platform. So we've seen musicians as well doing very well when they do collaborations with others, and also using the rarities to make different cover artworks in their musics, because that way people that are supporting them the most can get maybe even exclusive artwork besides the music, and kind of like brings them also a more of a community sense as well.
Yeah, it's quite interesting. You mentioned the physical works. That makes complete sense to me. That is. It's funny. Like we're in Web3 and there's like NFTs and there's all of this like virtual stuff. But when you actually get into like the crypto community, a lot of it's in person. A lot of it's like, hey, fly out to this Singapore conference, or like, hey, come. So it's quite interesting to see that, like, even though we're into digital collectibles, a lot of it still is in person. And then you said collaborations were the big thing in the music sphere.
Yeah. Yeah. No, also is to touch a bit more on that aspect of the physicals. Definitely. I mean, I think sometimes we forget that Web3 is a massive tool for bringing people together also in real life. And I think that when trying to become a successful creator in this space, you got to think about all the amazing tools that either a platform like DRiP or other places that you find are providing to you, because it really gives you the opportunity to build a community globally that you can also just use it for either gift physical prints, organizing IRL events. So yeah, I really like to talk about this space as a tool. It's really an amazing tool for doing that.
Yeah, and I'm curious. So you've got, musicians. What's the process you guys go through to get more creators on the platform? Like, what's the main acquisition channel?
Yeah, so right now our main acquisition channel is definitely through Twitter. We have a very big audience as well. A lot of people know about DRiP on Twitter, and I would say in the Solana ecosystem, I think DRiP is the biggest consumer app as well. And so we have a lot of people that apply through this space that already know us, and they get to apply. We have an application form. But then we also do a lot of scouting as well in the not only in Web3 but also in Web2. It definitely one of our objectives is to make DRiP understandable for anybody, even if they don't know about crypto. So we also like to really bring people that are on Instagram as well, people that we see that are being very engaging with their audience on Instagram. Maybe people that give, for example, I met today with a fashion designer that has been giving out T-shirts to their followers on Instagram, and I met with them and I was like, "You should do this on DRiP. I mean, DRiP is the perfect place for you to amplify this." So yeah, it's a lot of it's these two aspects that I mentioned. Yeah.
And then all of the non-physical goods go to the wallet. This is the thing that I'm actually one of the most curious on, because like when I think of my wallet, I think of money. I think sometimes of NFTs. Talk to us a little bit about like, can you listen to music out of your wallet? I already know the answer is yes, but like tell us a little bit about like how people are consuming the content through like wallet or like DRiP's interface.
Yeah, so I think people mostly consume through DRiP itself, the platform, because it is very easy to watch videos. The product team has been constantly making changes and improving the experience of how you can listen to a podcast, listen to a song, watch a video, or look at art. And also, I mean, also on the Phantom wallet, I think the Phantom wallet is it's probably the best wallet on Solana, at least to watch content, because you can also watch it from your phone when people collect it. So yeah, it is actually a really good experience for seeing the content that you collect from either your wallet or also your DRiP profile.
And then what's been the biggest challenge you've seen in growing DRiP? Is it trying to help Web2 users who are like Web2 musicians understand Web3 content distribution, or like what do you guys found have been the difficult issues?
Yeah, so I would say definitely. a challenge has been to try to explain more like the aspect of what a digital wallet means for people that don't know about blockchain, crypto, this space. So when trying to talk to Web2 creators about how they will be receiving payments in USDC, which is how it works right now, and some of these things, that's a challenge. I would say the biggest challenge has been trying to also increase our user base in Web2 from bringing collectors from Web2, because in Web2, people are not really used to collect content, right? Like it's also kind of like a very new idea. So that's been a challenge as well, trying to bring users from Web2, and we're constantly also working on that aspect as well. So.
Amazing, amazing. And then talk to us a little bit about, is this like an extensible platform, like say a Farcaster? Most people will know Farcaster actually is Warpcaster. Is this like something people can build on top of, or it's like a wholly defined platform itself?
So do you mean like other platforms being able to build on DRiP as well?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So on DRiP, we have many different types of creators. I mean, we have artists, we have people that just create content and are just like content creators that maybe have been doing it already on YouTube. We even have people that do comedy. And then there's also brands and projects and DeFi platforms. We actually have Jupiter as well on DRiP. They have a channel. They are using it as well to distribute art and also to kind of like keep delivering that type of content that they do for people to become a part of the Jupiverse, as they call it. Yeah, and we also have platforms like Pith, gaming projects like BR1 Infinite, Star Atlas has also worked with us. So yeah, we've also worked with many different types of brands and platforms, definitely.
Yeah. Many of the major projects. Pith, friend of the pod, we can go back to that episode. I forgot which number it is, but go back and watch the Pith episode. But talk to us a little bit about any upcoming milestones or developments people can kind of look forward to from you guys.
Well, there's many things going on from the product aspect. I mean, the mobile app is right now in beta version, and actually people can already start using it. But we are definitely looking to make it go live in the App Store and in the Play Store very soon. So that's definitely a big milestone coming up. We actually just reached 1,000 creators in the platform very recently, and that was a huge milestone as well that we celebrated, and we keep onboarding more creators. And now in December and January, we're looking to open up to even more launches per day. So we're looking to extend it to 10 launches per day. And then from the platform in general, we are now working on a lot of ideas to make it even easier for people from Web2 to just join, register, and use the platform as a collector, or also get onboarded as a creator. So we're really trying to make it easy for anyone from Web2 or Web3 to use DRiP.
Amazing. Well, I'm excited to try it out myself, maybe release some podcasts on there and test it out. But talk to us a little bit about like, where can people find you? Where can they find DRiP online?
Yeah, definitely. So, well, definitely you can find me on Twitter or Instagram, the Jom Shoots. It's my handle in every social media app. And for the DRiP House page, we have an official page on Twitter and on Instagram and also on TikTok. So it's just drip.house, and you will be able to find it. And yeah, you can feel free to send me a message if you're listening to this and you're interested in learning more about it as a creator, or also as a collector. If you want to learn more about it, feel free to send me a message and I will be happy to guide you through it.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for coming on the Building Web3 podcast, and everyone, let's continue building the future of Web3 for creators.